Hola, hello, shalom. How are you guys? My name is Liana Katsir. I live in Barcelona and I'm a tour guide in Barcelona Tours. And next to me is Benny Mockley and he works in a Sweet Life real estate company. And today we're going to give you information about buying a house and anything to do with real estate. So Benny, first of all, tell us who are you and how did you got to Barcelona?
Of course, my pleasure. So my name is Benny, as you mentioned. I'm Canadian and I'm Jewish. And to make a very long story short, I moved here about 17 years ago to study, fell in love with the city and never left. I also fell in love with my lovely Israeli wife, Sarit, and we've built our family here in my company, which I started in 2007. And what we do basically is we help foreigners and expats rent, buy, and invest in real estate in the city.
Wow. Okay, nice. And maybe you can explain us why do you think it's better to buy a house in Barcelona or, yeah, in this area and not another city in Europe?
Great question. I'm obviously a big believer in the Barcelona brand. I think it's really special. I think that one of the big advantages is that you get a lot more value for your money here than you would in other cities like London, Paris, Tel Aviv, for example. So you're going to get a lot more for the money that you invest, which is wonderful. Of course, the city is magical and special, and in terms of real estate, that works really well because you're going to get good capital appreciation. Prices are going to hold well when there are downturns in the market, and so it's a very interesting and safe place to put your money into real estate.
Okay. So yeah, obviously we love Barcelona, we love the city. Apart from the food and the weather, I think it's really interesting to know that it's much cheaper to buy a house here. For example, how much is to buy a house of 70 square meters, just to have an idea?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I'll try and give you an idea. It's really relative. Of course, it depends on the state of the property that you're buying. If it's sort of ready to go in turnkey, or if you'd like to renovate something, which is also very interesting for investment. And of course, it also depends on what neighborhood it's in, right? How prime is it? What part of the city is it in? What the use of the apartment is for? Whether you're going to live in it or rent it out as an investment property. But to give a very general idea, I'd say you'd be looking at anywhere between 3,000 and 5,000 euros per square meter.
Okay. And from what I understood, if you're buying a house in Barcelona, you get a lot of benefits about like visas and stuff like that. Can you explain us about it?
Of course, yes. There are a lot of benefits and in interesting things that people from abroad would like to know, I'm sure, whether it's in terms of getting the golden residence visa, which is that if you spend more than 500,000 euros on a property, you're eligible to get residency here, and then later on you would be able to get nationality even. And so basically the service that we offer is called a personal shopping service, and what that is that we act as your buying agent. So we're in touch with you from the beginning, and we sort of hold your hand and guide you along the entire process. And of course, buying property in a different country, you don't really know anything, and so having an expert guide you through that process, make sure that you are saving time, saving money in the negotiations, and more than anything else, saving money in potentially costly mistakes where you don't know where to look out for something, but because we do this all the time, we know exactly all of the pitfalls and sort of like traps that you can get caught in. We sort of add a lot of value to your process, but not only that, it feels sort of like shopping with a friend. If that friend were an expert and sort of a shark on your behalf and looking out for your best interests.
Yeah, Perfect. Great. And so what a part of that, what are the benefits for someone that wants to buy an apartment through you? And you said that you can give them free consultations, right? Or a tour. Maybe you can explain about that.
Totally. Yeah, for any of your followers, for anyone who's coming through Liana, we would be very pleased to offer you a 30-minute free consultation on anything that you would like to know about the real estate market here, about investing, getting sort of deeper into details, whether it's taxes or fiscal responsibilities or rental rates or what you can expect to buy or rent for, anything at all that you can think of that you'd be curious about. Whether you end up using our service or not, we would be happy to give you that free advice and perspective from somebody who does that every day.
Okay, good. And also, we spoke about that let's say someone wants to come and look for apartments. So, yeah, he doesn't know really the city well. So then he can take a tour with me, with us, with Barcelona. And we just focus on the area which he wants to buy the apartment. And then we show him like the lifestyle, which is not just the historical part and the art. It's also like actually to know the secret places or the bars where all the locals go. So yeah, so I think this is a nice way to also really feel the city and not only the house but the neighborhood that they might be living in one day. So that's a nice offer. What else? Do you have something else to add?
No, I would just say that I 100% agree with you that, Barcelona is such an eclectic and special city that each little neighborhood, as you know, sort of has its own little personality and its own vibe and feeling. And so apart from the initial, okay, what do I want to spend? What do I want to buy? What do I want to do with it? I think that having a sort of a deeper understanding of the neighborhood is like super, super important. And there isn't anyone better to do that with than you. So.
And it's free.
Exactly. So yeah.
Okay, great. So thank you very much, Benny. I think that's all. And you should buy an apartment in Barcelona because it's the best place ever. And Benny can really help you a lot with that. So all the information is just next in the video. Bye-bye.
Bye.